Let's now take you back to, I think, north of Johannesburg. That's where we'll find our reporter, Lopang Alamu. Lopang, of course, we saw that special investigative unit raiding that luxury property in Sandhurst. What's happening there now? What's the latest? What can you tell us?
Well, you'd notice that not much is happening currently outside this home that was raided by the SIU. Now, our colleague Lirekwe and I will walk and just give you an idea of what is currently happening outside the house. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is quite a huge house, and what you're now seeing is the truck that was used, or that was meant to be used rather, to apparently remove some of the furniture. But as things stand, it does not look as though this furniture will be removed today. We've seen that those responsible for these trucks are preparing to leave. We actually did ask the SIU earlier to confirm if any more of these immovable properties will be seized and taken from this property. However, it has been confirmed at this point that none of the furniture is yet to be removed. You understand that this house that you see, it's quite huge actually, is the primary house of the alleged businessman Hangwani, who is currently, we have not seen him or anyone of the family at this point. As things stand, only those 3 luxury vehicles were seized earlier on, as well as some files and some items that we could not really get our eyes on. And we'd also just like to mention the fact that those cars were really brand new, none of them going above 500 kilometers. And we also do understand that in Mpumalanga earlier on, the SIU went on to raid another property owned by Maumela. Now, this property, they were only able to seize a few items. However, they were unable to seize the luxury vehicles that were on that property. This is not the first of its kind. And the word that we get from SIU is that more of these raids are still expected.
Absolutely. Lopang, has anybody from the actual property come out? Because, I mean, we've seen a number of search and seizures over the past while, and today even where Criselda Lewis was in Centurion, of course, outside the home of Lieutenant General Sibia, him giving a statement to the media. Any of that sort happening where you are?
None whatsoever. We've tried inquiring as well as to who might be inside the property at this stage. Now, all we saw were the officials from the SIU as well as law enforcement authorities who were here to basically effect that court order to have these properties seized. At this stage, what we actually saw that might hint that it's a family home, as the SIU did actually confirm that it's the primary home of Maumela. Now, we did see a children's makeshift car, if I call it that. It's also quite expensive. One of these cars that are remote controlled, and that's the only hint that we got at this stage, that there might be children who reside in this particular property. But it was also quite a spectacle for the residents of this particular area. We saw quite a heavy amount of traffic earlier on, as most of those immovable properties were removed, where some people saying that they've actually been trying to find out who this house belongs to, what goes on in here, as well as some people exclaiming to the fact that they did see earlier on that something might be happening. We also received a tip-off from someone in this area who mentioned that something is actually happening in this particular house. We also did see earlier on some files that were removed from the house. Not too certain at this point what those documents contain. As things stand, we are yet to see anyone from the family or anyone who stays in this property address us, walk in, walk out, or drive in or out rather.
All right, Lopang, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for that. Of course, Lopang Alamu out there at that luxury property in Sandhurst, in Sandton. Of course, that is linked, as she's just said now, to what many people are saying is Hangwani Morgan Maumela's home. And all of this linked to that SIU report of the massive looting scandal at Tembisa Hospital on the East Rand, the road, of course, the raid rather, following those revelations in that SIU's interim report, uncovering 2 billion rand, which was siphoned off from the hospital through the fraudulent procurement schemes.